Yeah, nah, I just be chillin', isolated like I'm fucking crazy. Nintendo cartridge that you gotta blow, you cannot play me. I bust a biscuit till it's drippin' like some fucking gravy. Cause it ain't over till that fat lady scenes that made me. So hard to say goodbye to all my niggas who didn't make it. We brought them in to the end, now we gotta face it.
Hey there now, what's the score, YouTube family? It's your boy Gillathel, also known as Lethal Gills for Good Son. This is my first video on these topics or whatever. But if you're new to the channel, you know, welcome. It's a variety channel. I do music, rap in particular, poetry also, and different forms of philosophy. This is a series that I'm starting, and it's going to be called Divinely Decoded Ministries. And what I mean by that is I'm going to divinely try to decode things that are somewhat mysterious or that we find difficult to understand, or they may have a hidden meaning in there that I think is for us as a people. And I'm going to break it down and explain in these series. They all won't be based on religion, history. It's going to be anything that I think that is essential that we ain't paying very much attention to. So first off, I want to start by saying welcome, and I thank you. If you're interested in this content, be sure to hit that like button, you know, and for the algorithm or whatever, and subscribe to the channel for any future videos that I do on breakdowns or whatever. I was brought up, we're from the rural South, small country towns and areas in the Bible Belt, in the Delta, Mississippi. So there's not that much. If you don't have that much money, you won't really like be involved in, you know, what's modernly being, you know, pushed or, you know, going on in today's, you know, popular societies, because you won't have that much to do what you see other people doing or have what other people have, or you know, to be distracted from a lot of things that normal children won't have to pay attention to. I got used to understanding and knowing the natures of man and understanding, you know, the history of people, because that's what I was interested in, you know, with the lack of, you know, not having a lot of modern day popular materials of brands and devices or even entertainment. You know, my mom, we weren't poor. She kept a roof over our head, but she didn't go broke on entertainment and materials. She went broke on essentials like food and the bills. You know, while everybody's up to date on the new trends, the new music, or whatever's going on, we're being raised like we in the 60s with our mother on our grandmother's land. You know, she some situations happened with her, like some Tyler Perry type of situations in the church, and it made her leave church, but she kept her faith at home. You know what I mean? And brought all that belief and discipline and devotion to God in the house. So she wanted us to identify with nothing but the power of God. There weren't no Nikes, there weren't no Jordans, there were no Nintendos, no PlayStations, no BET really, or nothing like that. Like, we'll have to go somewhere else and watch stuff like that or whatever, you know, popular movies she did. She was a movie fan. She liked the movies and stuff like that. But anything unrighteous or foul, she didn't really much identify with. So as a child, I always wanted to know, you know what I'm saying, more about the Creator, more about the Father, because I didn't have my biological father in my life. I got two sisters. I'm the middle child. And my mom was a single parent, and she had me in a shelter home or whatever. She got grown, like 21, 20 or something like that. She just left away from that situation or from that environment. She went out on her own, but being raised out there with my great-grandmother on our land or whatever, and my great-grandmother was Choctaw, Cajun, and French. She was a maid for people, you know what I'm saying, back in the days or whatever. So she passed this, you know, almost white and whatnot. She was very devoutly, you know, religious and or whatever, and she took my mama in when that abuse and stuff was going on with her. So all my mama know is God and, you know, being a good housekeeper. That's what she took in the world with her. So I'm trying to explain why I have such a connection to deep understanding. I said think because only God knows for sure, the Creator knows for sure. But my heart has always have been in the right place. You know, St. Mary's missionary from Lafayette, Louisiana. That's where I was born. Was coming down in the rural in the rural deltas doing missionary work, and the bishop gave a sermon, and my mother was there at one of those shelters when he did his when they were doing their missionary work, and she felt what he was saying. She said she felt saved, and she was pregnant with me at the time. And they went back. They invited her to go back with her to Louisiana. That's how I ended up being born at St. Mary's Missionary in Lafayette, Louisiana. And at the hospital, I was supposed to be a breech baby. I was supposed to be coming out feet first. This is what my mama said. And that bishop that gave that sermon was there at the hospital, his wife, and the man that my mom married that was a minister under the bishop. My mom got me, you know, they prayed over her and supposed to, you know what I'm saying, like put some oil over her and let the doctor go in there and turn me around. And the bishop, his name was Gilbert Austin. If anybody know him, anybody see this video, in Lafayette, Louisiana, get in touch or see how I can kind of get in touch with Bishop Gilbert Austin. But he can remember he did missionary work back in the 90s in West Helena, Arkansas. And my mother was there pregnant with me, and she had me back in Louisiana when she went back with them. And he named me Gillathel after the book of Galatians in the Bible. And said the Holy One or whatever. Named me Gillathel, the Holy One. And Glenn, who my mom was married to, the minister under the bishop, his name was Glenn Ferguson. He gave me his last name. And my daddy, you know, he gave me life. He met my mom. My mom met my dad in the shelter back in West Helena. He was from Memphis. Him and her had a lot in common about their trauma and abuse, what brought them to the shelter or what put them out there on the street like that. They had a lot in common with their history, and they got together, and that's how she got pregnant with me. But I was brought, you know what I'm saying, here under understanding of people and God, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like marked with it almost, where you know, that's been my whole thing, my whole life, trying to understand God and what he has us here for and what he wants us to do.